Hmm. You say this way, yeah. Never you say this way, yeah. Let's stop before we get cut off. What's going on, y'all? It is your boy Q, and we are back to it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, right? Yeah. So we are back. This is the Phenomenal Legacy Podcast. I should have grabbed my water over there, but I guess we'll be thirsty. We'll be thirsty. It's all right. Um, guys, holidays is coming up. It's a busy time of year. Um, I kind of foreshadowed this not too long ago. I kind of foreshadowed that it was going to be a busy time of the year, but I'm up for it. We can talk about some, unhealthy eating habits and all that type of stuff. Somebody asked me, "What is that?" Not too long ago. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. Okay, we ain't gonna get it. It's gonna distract the rest of the viewers. There we go. Um, Somebody asked me, "What do you prefer, sweet or savory?" And I'm more of a sweet type of person, right? Um, Now I will, right, the meats, right, flesh. Oh Lord, I y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay, I will crave those sometimes, but the majority of the time, what I crave is pastries or something along that sort. My favorite thing right now is cheesecake, right? And I want to shout out Nacho Cheesecake because they got this Big Mama cheesecake. I swear to God. But yeah. That's just something very delicious, and I want you guys to try it. All right. Yeah, that's one of them things, and this is the time of the weather and all that type of stuff is starting to drop, so you want to get all these fats in and all that. Yeah, I thought it was the perfect time to start cutting. Still do. It's just difficult. All right, and that's believe mind over matter. That's going to be one of the topics today. All right, mind over matter. Y'all saw the title of the podcast today. It's talents versus gifts. We're gonna get into that a little bit later, but right now I want to ask y'all, what was the best Christmas that y'all ever had? What was the best presents? Can y'all describe the best presents that y'all have? Then can y'all go back to that memory of the Christmas to where you thought this one, this is hidden? Because I got one. I got one myself, and man, that Christmas, I tell you, bruh. Mm-mm. You would have thought I was rich that year. Now you would have thought I was rich with how long it took to unwrap all them presents. You would have thought that a brother had 7 bathrooms in one house, right? 7 bathrooms with one ass. You would have thought it was over with. But yeah, I remember this one Christmas, man. Usually on Christmas Eve we get to uh unpack one present, unwrap one present right before Christmas Day. We just like, dang, what we get. So we get our presents this one day. We get to unwrap one, which is cool. And I think we got a video game that we got to unwrap. Got lucky on it and stuff, and got to play that throughout the night. But we were still like, I don't know what's to come. But if it's starting off like this is right. Right. So and it's always hard to sleep that night because you so excited you can't even go to sleep. So you over here like, Ariel, just go to sleep, man. Just go to sleep. Telling your mind go to sleep in the nighttime, and it's difficult. It's difficult, man. It's really difficult to go to sleep. You just can't calm down. You got your heartbeat all raising and stuff like that. But when you finally go to sleep and you wake up, and then you like, it's official. I can open these presents. Matter of fact, we first walk up in there, bro. All of us got bikes. All of us got bikes. Not one, not two, but all three of us boys, we got bikes. We go up in there, we get these bikes. I didn't even know how to ride a bike yet. It took me a minute to start riding a bike, but I had one. I had a bike. I remember it. I fell off that bike a few times, but I remember that. It was a red bike. I can't remember exactly people got them type of memories to where they remember the exact names of bikes, and so I don't know all that. I just had a bike and it was red. Okay. It was a red bike. And we got up out there. I think they even had training wheels on them because we didn't know how to ride them yet. But then we got them training wheels off, and I taught myself how to ride a bike. That's one of the most proud things I never did in my life, is taught myself how to ride a bike. I ain't need nobody else to help me, because every time I had somebody else help me, it messed up. But that's a lot of things in life. I taught myself how to do a lot of these things in life. Yeah, after people had tried to show me and tell me and all that type of stuff. But when I figured it out for myself, that's the easiest way that I figured out how I learned, because I started paying attention to a couple of more things, right? So we get back up inside of the living room, and then it takes us, I kid you not, it takes us over an hour to unwrap all of our presents by ourselves, our individual presents. When I tell you there was nothing but wrapper in the way, nothing. I don't know what they was on that Christmas. I think it was the Christmas of 2004 or 2005. One of them Christmases, 2004 or 2005. It was whenever Bow Wow came out with that one album. I ain't never done it with you, like you on me, we together, you on me. I ain't never had nobody do me like you. Oh, is that 2006? Was that 2006? Was that 2006? It couldn't have been 2006. I thought it was 2005. Hold on. No. It was 2005. Yes, it was the Wanted album. It was the Wanted Bow Wow album. Let me hold you. Yes, it was that album, because we had got the big old radio. It's got the whole stereo system. It was three-piece stereo system, and the Bow Wow Wanted album came out. And that's what we had got that Christmas. And Bow Wow was lit at that time. Roll Bounce came out the next year, bro. It was a good time. We was bumping Bow. We was bumping Shad. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego was out there bumping Shad Moss. We was out there. Took us an hour to unpack all them presents. Man, that was a good time. That was a real good time. Wasn't nothing crazy going on. Everybody was living. It's always a good time when everybody living, right? It was a good time. Everybody was alive and well, healthy, moving around, getting along for the most part. Kids staying in kids' business, grown folk in grown folk business. It was a good time. It was when you still liked your family. Y'all know the people you don't deal with no more, but you was dealing with it back then, and everybody was cool. We was all united together. And then you just move on in your life. You start figuring out the people in your family you just don't really mess with no. When do you get to that point of realization that you like everything is not what it seems? And I'm not trying to do the Wizards of Waverly Place. I'm not trying to do the Wizards of Waverly Place intro. I'm not trying to do that at all. But when do you figure that out for yourself that, hey, I'm cool on you? This Christmas was lit and all, but I'm starting to see you. Okay, I'm starting to see you. I'm starting to see how you. Matter of fact, I don't like none of you. Anybody else get like that? Is that just me? Is that too deep? Is that the real? Which family member are you? Which family member are you? The one that always like to be around family? Which family member are you? Because are you the family member that just like to stop in, hey, say hi, bye, grab a plate and go? Which one? Which one are you? Because I tell you which one I am. To be honest with you, I'm that family member that's gonna say hi, bye, be respectful, cordial, and all that type of stuff. But I just ain't in everybody's way, and I ain't really got much to talk about. I know that's crazy. I'm on the podcast right now talking, but I ain't really got much to talk about. I'm over here exploring my thoughts in my mind. Excuse me, right now. That's all I'm doing. I'm doing this in the confines of my own spaces. That's what I'm doing. Somewhere where I'm comfortable. That's what I'm doing. Hey, fake Quan, or my family called me Quan. Quan, how you doing? How you doing? What you been up to? Work. And I really don't be having nothing going on, y'all. I really just be working. That's it. That's it. That's what I like to do. To be honest with you, I like to work. I like it. My mind is centered around work. People be like, you a workaholic and all that type of stuff. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. If my leisure is working, then that's my lead. That's not nothing. What's it called? Because I like doing some other stuff, but personally, if I'm fulfilling something, I like to work. Right? That's the family member I am. I like staying out the way. Ain't not too much going on. Nice, short and sweet and all that type of stuff. I used to be energetic and all that type of stuff as a kid, but now I'm grown up and uh uh now I'm just grown up now, quiet. Uh, you know, and I save my energy. I conserve my energy. I don't be doing really too much. I don't really be doing too much. I just be sitting there. Hey, not too much, not too much. And people everywhere else be like, you ain't no introvert and all that type of stuff. When I tell y'all, after I deal with people all day and I come home to the confines of my leisure, I just sit down, unwind by myself, and be quiet. That's all I do. I just sit down, be quiet. And then I just try to think of creative stuff to do. And I caught myself in a funk, y'all, getting back how I used to. And just sitting there like, dang, I ain't got nothing creative popping and stuff. And I do. And I don't be giving myself enough credit, you know what I mean, about the stuff that I am doing. I always think about the stuff that I should be doing. You know what I mean? And sometimes you got to slow down and think about the stuff that you are doing right now and give yourself that pat on the back for those things, because those are the things that you can maintain for right now versus the next things that you want to do, that you're going to do, but you can't rush to do it because it's just not that time yet. You know what I mean? So we're going back. When did you figure out your family was too much? Y'all know how I said everything was cool and stuff. Everybody was getting along. Everybody was living and all that type of stuff. And that it was a perfect time back then. But I can remember every time we got a family function, somebody getting into it. And I said, this ain't right. Because, I grew up around, people getting cussed out and all that type of stuff. And, I really don't like, whenever we're in a heated conversation or anything like that, just don't raise your voice at me, right? I don't like it. I didn't heard it too. Did you? And plus, you're defeating the purpose of having a conversation, right? Just you're losing that. So name calling, saying stuff. If you don't mean to say anything and you're gonna come back with an apology later, why say it now? Don't say nothing you don't mean. Just stop, take a minute, take a breath, and just I just get real. I can get quiet. I get quiet like this. Something pissed me off. I get quiet. Right? I'll let you get by with it. Like if we're in a public setting, right? You do something that I don't like, now I'm getting better at calling stuff out. But give me a second. I'm gonna explain this. I get quiet. I just sit there and be like, okay, I'm gonna let you have that. And I'm gonna keep on, keep it on everybody else and keep it real cool and stuff. But I'm going to address it. I'm gonna get to addressing it because I got, I was raised up in my immediate family about communication, and you know what I mean. So if there's a problem, you don't just let it sit there. You speak on it. You know what I mean, and try to get an understanding. But we don't need to be yelling and all that. Now, if we arguing about sports or something, we can yell then, right? But if this is an argument or a disagreement that we just have to have and stuff, all this yelling and screaming, calling each other out, just doing all that, that's unnecessary. That's hold on, let's communicate. We know how to be adults because we losing everything in translation because we over here going off of our feelings rather than we going off the facts. What you did to me, you hurt my feelings, right? Right? And I ain't gonna let you know, and I'm over here playing with this. Put that down. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Sundown. So, my body just like, So, we get a lot of that stuff lost in translation. And it's time to just simmer down for a second and express really what we got to come across. Now, I'm not somebody that's going to really line my feelings everywhere because I'm focused on facts. All right. And I feel like it's necessary to get those facts out there. So let's talk about what did happen here. And I'm a big person on facts and a big person on consistency. All right. So do not call it out now if you didn't call it out then. Right. Or context matters too. Facts, consistency, and what did I say? Facts, consistency, and context. Context matter. But what I'm starting to learn now is sometimes, context, if it don't align to your consistency, you got to move it out the way as well, too. So that's where that maturity is coming into account. And that's where I have messed up in the past because, well, if it hurts your feelings now, or if it hurt your feelings then, I'm not going to do it again because that's not falling. Like, I don't know when it's going to hurt your feelings and stuff, so I just won't do it. And that's being conscious of your emotional state, right? That's being conscious of your emotion. I have to take your emotions. So if I have to into account, if I have to joke, if I joked about something in the past and it got to you, I don't want to do that again because I don't want you thinking that I'm intentionally trying to come after your feelings, right? So you tell me one time it hurt your feelings, I can't joke about it no more. There's that line because I don't want to cross that because my intention is to be joyful, and I don't want to do anything to get out of that way. Like I said, my number one purpose is to put a smile on people's face. Every single day, I got to put a smile on somebody's face, knowing that it made it better, right? I don't care if I'm liked by who and who, such and such. That's not my mission. My mission is to put a smile on somebody's face. All right. Yes, boundaries. Hey, mama. Hey, mama. So, yeah. So with the communication, but with family, so communication. We was talking about communication. So I was raised up how to communicate, and if I felt something, I need to get it off my chest, and if I felt it was right, I was gonna get to that point. Or if we couldn't get to that point, I can't fool with you. Right? When I noticed that everybody ain't communicate like that, and then some people just gonna live in their situation or feel how they want to feel, it's just time. It's okay to say goodbye. I'm not that one person to be like, we just family, so we got to make it work. No, sometimes it just don't work. So go on about your business, right? And I don't feel no bad. I don't feel no type of ways whenever it's gone. I don't care who I was close to then versus who I'm close to now, because guess what? I mean, if I have to transform myself to suit your emotions, then I don't need to be around you. And like I got some family like that. And I don't like to waste too much time talking about a whole bunch of nothing either. So if we talking about a whole bunch of nothing, we ain't talking about growing. We ain't talking about something that we can progress together as, or, I grew up around churchgoers inside of my family, but everybody inside the church ain't with Jesus, So like it really like the conversations that we have, aren't really beneficial. And they're not really genuine. They're not really authentic. So, there's just things that you start noticing as a child, that was good when I was a child, but they ain't really grew since I was a child. And we talking about stuff that's almost 20 years ago now. It's crazy to think that I'm talking about something in 2005 is almost 20 years ago. It's 2023 right now, y'all. That's 18 years ago. 18 years ago. But yeah, so you just start figuring out everybody back then was getting along and stuff like that. Everybody was alive and well and all that type of stuff. And then just all of a sudden, you just like these people ain't like that. Like I don't want to be around them no more. And it's not even that. You sometimes you just grow out of things and just get old enough to where you just ain't got time to be here and there anymore and stuff. You got to go build on your own life, build on your own traditions and all that. What you want for yourself, what you want for your families, and all that. What you want for your yeah. I ain't gonna get redundant on that. I didn't say what I needed to say, but yeah, I just figured out, man. Family. I know my family, and they say you can't choose your family, but you can. But you can. You can choose your family. I want you to know this right now. You can choose your family. You can choose the ones you want to fool around with. Those people that didn't you have grown with emotionally. Those people that you have grown with spiritually. Those is family members right there, right? And then those who are genuinely there. That's family. And I love my family. I love my relatives and all that type of stuff. But there's some people I can deal with versus some people I can't. There's some people who can see me in this certain season versus some people who just ain't gonna have the patience for it. And there's also those boundary levels of who your family see you as. Do they see you as this little kid, or do they see you as this grown adult now? And if you can't get past that mental capacity, that tells me where you're holding yourself at. You holding yourself as somebody 20 years ago versus I'm actually living in this present. My mama told me one time about, some people live in fantasy land and some people live in reality. And I'm not the ones who just like to sit there sitting on imagination, but I want to go get it. So, yeah, after a while, a few more Christmases go by and stuff, you start figuring out the real meaning of Christmas. It's supposed to be about the unity of family and not just presents. Uh, Family is close, relatives are distant. Amen. That's a bar. Family is close, relatives are distant. Well, the relatives, you know who you is. Hey, relatives, family, hello. How you doing? Welcome. I'm gonna come to dinner one of these days. Family, relatives. I catch you when I catch you. See you when I see you. I'm gonna see you when I see you. Um, yeah. So but that Christmas, I tell you, it took us an hour to unpack all them presents. Yeah, but the wanted Bow Wow CD, that was the year. I guess Bow Wow was a good sign that year because that was the best Christmas that I remember. I don't know how they snuck them three bicycles in without us seeing them. I don't know how they snuck that in without us seeing them because we was three boys sitting around at that time just up to no good. Um all right. Before we get into our main topic, I want to ask y'all, have y'all been around a true great work ethic? Like, who can you look at inside of your life and and say had a great work ethic? Because people with great work ethics, they're extremely successful. I ain't talking about people who cut corners and all that type. I'm talking about generally, just genuinely, just cold work ethic on go mode all the time. I want to biasly say myself, but I can't say that. I can't say that with, you know, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. But I want to say, who have you seen like with a work ethic that you just like, man, they hungry, they hungry, they on go. Like no matter how they feeling, no matter where they, you know, just they just going after it. Um, there's been points in my life to where I've gotten into that mode, but I started looking, you know, I look at the people around me and stuff like that, and I just, you know, I ain't necessarily found that just yet. Now, I will say there's this young kid who's on go, right? Got the potential to be at that point, which is very admirable. Um, I've seen him work a few times and just on go. And it's kind of like how I like to work, you know, and it's something that I admire. But I haven't, I don't know. I don't know, y'all. Like just going after it, going, making the opportunities, going after it consistently. Uh, ooh, you don't, those is rare. Those are really rare. Those go getters. Then you know when they say Mamba mentality, you know you see that with athletes, you know some people, you know like you'll see this from immigrants and all that type of stuff. There's a different, you know what I mean. There's a different cultural mindset. Um, you know people who ain't got no home, you know what I mean, people who was moving from shelter to shelter and stuff like that. I see personally finding those people having that type of work ethic, like, you know, knowing that there's nothing to fall back on, because personally I don't have a fallback plan, right? And I'm still not claiming to be one because I'm not there yet. I really ain't there yet. I'm getting there, and I'm getting there. But whenever like dude, I really love the stories, like the people that I admire, that I follow, um that I'm inspired by, are the people that are just, the work ethic is just is second to none. um and it's not so it's great what I want to be with my work ethic, because what I found with these people are they've gotten so into their craft, they became their craft. I want to be spiritually grounded with my work ethic, but also understanding that it, you know, spirit. I want to be spiritually grounded as my work ethic is going and progressing and stuff. And I've caught myself lost sometimes inside of my craft to where I'm like, you know what, I need to go back to putting the main thing as the main thing. And the reason why things were working out so well was just because of my spiritual foundation. And I think that's a big part, because I love, like I said, I love to work, but the work ethic and people like, you know, you go with the Kelbys, the Michael Jacksons. If you look at the Tom Brady's of the world and stuff, these are not people that, you know, I physically can grasp, but the people around you that you have seen with these crazy work ethics. And I'm really trying to wrap my mind around who have I seen just, you know, with that skill. And I'm kind of glad that we segued into that, because I can go into this. You know, we can go into our main topic, the talents versus the gifts. I believe that a work ethic is a gift, because my thing with the work ethic is whenever I sit there and I'm not um interested in a certain thing, I'll I just I won't have it in me to draw more of an interest into it, or pursue it. I will not have an interest to pursue. um like, I'll say this with math, right? That never intrigued me, so I never had the desire to pursue it, right? I didn't want to fail, I didn't want to be bad, but I was like, there was nothing in it that made me want to just be like, oh yeah, I get this. Now whenever I would have history class, or, you know, talk about I love nature. I love history. Um, I love the arts. These are some things that I love. Thinking about the minds, the human mind, and all that type of stuff, behavior, and all that. Those are things that interest me. But whenever you got to math and stuff, maybe because personally, numbers may add up to this, right? But numbers is not the whole story, and numbers are just an assumption, right? Because everything is unpredictable, but you can always have a an idea of where it's going, but it's still an idea. You know what I mean? It's never a fact, but it's an idea. It's a consistent fact. But that's all we're gonna get into. Maybe because numbers is just you get so reliant on numbers, but that's not how things function, right? And I think that's the reason why I don't find it as intriguing because they say it as a definite solution, but it just ain't. So math was just nothing I could really get behind. But as far as those other things, we're talking about talents versus gifts. I believe that I have several talents, but my true gift, I think it's my true gift is with words. How I use words, what I can write with words, and sometimes whenever I'm just talking freely, um, and it's just a genuine one-on-one conversation, or it could be one versus everybody. I could have a TED talk or something like that, but my way of words with people, I feel like that is my gift. Now, I do believe this. Your gift comes. I think your talents and gifts come naturally, but your gift is something that is very special to you. Because what I can say is, I have many talents. Acting, dancing, singing, writing. Um, but the one that I've always gotten the most feedback on is, some people saw it in me or things is just because of how I speak, who I speak to, how I hold myself. I've been told that I could be a preacher, a public speaker, um, stuff along those lines. Preacher, public speaker. I had my pastor tell me that he wanted me to be his youth pastor at his church. But that's my gift. That's something that in what I make my main mission, my purpose is see if I can put a smile because I can like even though it's out of my comfort zone, it's one of those things that was gifted upon me. So I need to go give this out inside of the world, something of myself. Um, and I have this attitude that I don't like to take no's for an answer, and just because it hasn't been done, that's also not taking no for an answer. I have persistence, determination, a lot of persistence and a lot of determination. And I'm always up for a new challenge. I love challenges. I really do. That's a part of my competitive mindset. So if I can find anything, that's the reason why I like sports because it satisfies my desire to be competitive. And it's not even against anybody else, it's with myself, seeing if I can do it. You know what I mean? Um, and that's the number one trait inside of a human. The thing that we have over any other species in the world is our endurance because we like pushing ourselves. This is the reason why I find us so fascinating. Matter of fact, just behaviors in general, or all across the board, any living creature um, is just what drives us, what motivates us. What makes an animal so magnificent is their adaptation to wanting to find to how to survive for the next day, how to survive the next meal, how to get to it. The behaviors of which they'll change to wait and make it a little bit more efficient to get to where they need to go. Um, and that's something that I pride myself on is how can I go after it? I'm always thinking about the next step, always thinking about the next thing. But in that, the gift, what you can get too enamored by, which will you can kind of succumb to that is because uh, you don't give yourself enough credit on what you are doing in that moment, what we were talking about previously. um, it's just slowing down and appreciating those things, and just knowing, just because you have this gift does not mean you are your gift, right? I have a voice that can reach out to people, but I am not just my voice, right? I'm other things. Um, I'm somebody who needs to be spoken to. I'm a person who loves to learn. I'm a person who loves to listen. Um, I'm a person who loves to be grounded. I'm a person. I love seeking knowledge, right? Um, I love, right? Um, I love honesty. Um, just knowing that you aren't your gift, but the talents versus the gifts, I just think that gift, and that people can be gifted with other things and stuff like that. I got to do a discovery of myself to find another one, but I truly think that the number one thing that I do know about myself is that I'm gifted with my speaking. I'm gifted with my speaking, and I know that for sure. um and the thing that you're gifted with is something, that thing you can be most criticized about, the thing you are most gifted with, and that just can't. Thank you, Jesus. So you got to give credit, gratitude, and all that type of stuff. Your blessings got to throw them right back up to God. The thing that you are credited with is the most criticized thing about you: being loud, outspoken, obnoxious, strong, vocal, and some of these things, these things make you unique. All right. These things that you are being said about you, these aren't things, these are things that, it's like, um when my mama was like, she told me like, with black cats and all these type of stuff, that they put black and all this type, these things to make it seem bad. But what makes these things bad, right? These why is a black cat synonymous with bad luck? Black sheep is synonymous with loner, or you know what I mean. It's synonymous with bad annotations. Wait a minute, what makes these things bad? Just because you're different, just because you're unique, right? Every creative person that I've known, or have not just knowledge of in general, black sheep can be um, synonymous with them. And what makes that bad? Well, I think being around a lot of people is doing more harm than being by yourself, because at least you appreciate yourself as an individual. You can get to know yourself, and that's the reason why you can be a true gift. Number one lesson in the Bible, Jesus had to separate himself from his disciples, right? Yeah, if my Lord and Savior had to separate himself from his own disciples and just get away and just be with him and the Lord, hiding, away from the people, what makes it so bad that I want to have my own separation? I don't like being around people all the time. It takes too much away from me. I got to have some things to myself. Being personal is very important to me. Having some stuff for me to go back to, right? Because if I give everything to everybody else, what do I leave myself with? Nothing. And I was saying all that just to say that those things that you are criticized on are some of the best things about yourself, right? It makes you uniquely you. And some people are going to hate you for that. Some people are going to hate you for that because they're going to wish that they had that, right? And while they wishing they had something that you have, they don't even recognize what they have. And they too wrapped up in you because you so happy with being an individual. And they got to be around everybody else. They can't even see the gifts about themselves. You're going to learn where God gave these offerings, right? And then he take them, if you don't use them, you take them away. I ain't the most well versed in the Bible, but I know some of it now. I'm still I'm gonna learn, and I'm gonna keep on learning it. I'm gonna keep on learning. Also, y'all, I started watching this show called The Chosen. It was about the stories in the Bible too. It's good. It's good. I'm on the first episode still, but it's good. It's good. I'm still getting into it, but it's good. It's good. I just show enough you right. It's still good. Y'all go ahead and watch you hold on now. Hold on. Get your internet right. Get your internet right. See, as soon as I start talking about Jesus, start lagging. In the in the name. In the name. My word. Let's get back right on here. In the name. Hold on. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. So, as soon as I start talking about Jesus, you make sure that your offering is right. All right. You make sure that you use your gifts for the good. And also understand that your gifts are gifts. All right. Just as they are gifts, gifts can be taken away. Understand it's not you doing all of it, but it was something gifted to you, so you need to give to others. It's better to be of service it's better to give than receive. So make sure that you always give, because there's always somebody less fortunate, somebody that's going to need it a little bit more than you. And I'm really lagging. Oh, Lord have mercy. As soon as I start talking about Jesus, you know what? That's okay. I'm going to leave that with you, right? Your greatest gift is always going to be the most criticized. Is it better? As soon as I started talking about Jesus, that ain't right. That ain't right. And then as soon as I start saying, as soon as I stop talking about stop talking about Jesus, it start working again. Ain't this wrong? I was giving you a word. I was gonna give you a word. This ain't right. I don't like this at all. YouTube, you up to something. YouTube, you need to see heaven. You need to hear the trumpets. I don't like that. I don't like how I'm getting ready to close and stuff, and you over here want to just this ain't right. This ain't right. Yeah, I hope y'all got what y'all needed to get then. Because when the Lord says shut it off, just shut it off. This ain't right. Is it better? Is it better? Is it better? Did my audio fix? Y'all, we gotta sit here. You look here. We cast that out in the name of Jesus, Satan. We cast the lag out in the name of Jesus. We cast that out. We see right through you. And people think you crazy. But what is how ironic is it that everything started lagging whenever I started talking about some real stuff? And I'm gonna just let y'all know on this right here. If you don't believe Jesus is real, I had this one encounter a few months ago. A lady who knew nothing about my personal life brought my personal life up. No information at all. Brought my personal life up. And things that are of Jesus, right? Things that are of Jesus is very specific. Things that are not of God is very general. So I'm leaving y'all with that. Know what to use your gift on. Because whenever you feel like it's very direct for you, not general, very direct inside of your life, you need to use that and go on. Make your moves, make your decisions. And all those other people that I want to talk about, look here, if you feel like you got a gift, you need to go after it. And if you feel like you've been lacking, don't give yourself a sob story. All right, now is the time to wipe your hands, dust yourself off, get clean, and keep going. Cause this ain't the time to feel sorry for yourself. All right. I'll give you 5 minutes to feel sorry for yourself whenever you got people on payroll. When you got some people on payroll, that's when you can feel sorry for yourself. For about 5 minutes. And then after that, just nothing but gratitude. And then also some more people, right before I leave, I want y'all to know this, all right? If you don't know where to start in your life and having prayers and all this type of stuff, this is how you talk to God. God, look, my big toe was hurting today, and I just need you. What personally, I just need that not to ache no more. You see how you having a conversation? That's talk to God, talk to him, give it up to him. All right. Because guess what? Anything that I do, even if it don't seem like the most religious stuff in the world, guess what? There's a purpose, there's a foundation right behind it. Because I'm gonna give you what's real, right? And real people, first of all, I like some of them Christian movies and stuff like that, but y'all be faking the funk on them Christian movies, all right? Real people out there be having sex. They're like, Q, where you go with this? Real people be out there cussing. Real people be out there sinning, okay? And then they fall back and they keep going. First of all, I don't know if you read the Bible in your life, but it's some shiesty stuff going on the side of that Bible. What I want us to do better as Christian folk is display our true selves in front of people. Okay? Everything ain't got to be so churchy. All right? Because first of all, that ain't even how the church is. It's shiesty in the church too. We over here trying to front for God. How are you going to front for somebody to see you when you go home? There's some stuff I always got to have a little rant section inside the podcast. How you going to fake the funk in front of somebody who go with you once you leave? Right? Soon as you go home and take that wig off and start cussing them kids out, how you going to fake the funk right up there with your little church lady hat on? How? Stop faking the funk. Look, and stop writing that stuff and stop acting ha kiki and all that type of stuff. First of all, you don't even like these folk. I want you to be just as real as you are at home at that church house. There's a time and a place for everything. It's always, first of all, if you amongst your others, amongst like-minded people like you at the church, right? That's the most time for correction. But other than that, make sure that you are using your gifts. Make sure you're using your gifts, understanding what your gifts are versus your talents. Those are two different things. What's your gifts versus what is your talent? And I want you to really think about that. That's your assignment for the week. Whenever I come back next week and we talking about something, I want you to drop your gift in the chat. God bless you. God keep you. I really appreciate doing this because I used to have my Let's Talks on Facebook. Sadly, that got stopped. That got stopped whenever I got hacked. But I really appreciate having that now. Especially on the Phenomenal Legacy podcast. Ain't nothing to do it but to do it. Ain't nothing to it but to do. Well, all right. We done messed up a few more times. That just means it's time to go to bed. God bless y'all. God keep y'all. It's been real.